Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
What's going on, everyone? The Sixers take care of business. To me, this was a get-right game, get-confident game, find your rhythm type of game. They beat down on the Washington Wizards 125-108. The Sixers were up big. In the second quarter, they went on an obnoxious 19-0 run in 6+ minutes or so. The Sixers were up about 23 points, and then it vanished to single digits, 4 or 5 points. But at the end of the day, the Sixers totally went into a burst after that, won the basketball game, and you saw some positives in terms of good play out of some players, good play out of the bench, and you move on to the next one. Here's the thing. In between this game and the Milwaukee Bucks at home on Christmas Day, there is a Detroit Pistons squad waiting for the Sixers at home in Detroit. It can't be overlooked. I know that, that Milwaukee game is so big and it's circled on the calendar. You have a game to take care of in between this one and the Milwaukee game. So don't overlook it. Don't overlook it. Gain some momentum with this win, even though it's against a bad squad in this league. Who cares? You won. It can create some sort of energy. Build off this energy. Make sure you look good in Detroit, and then you can use that momentum heading into the Milwaukee game. Before we talk more about this game, though, I need to let you know about the promo code BROADS that you can use at SeatGeek's checkout page for $20 off of your total purchase. That is free money. That is free parking. It's free beer. It's free food. Use the promo code BROADS today. Get yourself some tickets. The Sixers saw some zone in this game. Now, there's two reasons why it was different in this one. One, the Washington Wizards absolutely stink. And I know that the Sixers lost to this team before, but they stink. The Wizards stink. And the Sixers shot better. Now, that can go hand in hand with each other, absolutely. But when you look at the Sixers, they shot 52% from the field, and they shot 42.4% from three. So they were knocking down shots in this one, and the Wizards just don't play a zone as effective as some of the other squads that we saw. They're not as good as Miami, so their players weren't playing the zone as good as Miami did. Same with the Dallas Mavericks. Now, everyone wants to rip apart the Sixers for losing to the Mavs without Luka Doncic, and I was in the mix as well, but when you look at the Mavs, I think we just need to give them credit for what they're doing. It's not just the Sixers they're beating without Luka Doncic. They are an impressive squad, all right? Let me just say, they are a really good team. Let's give them some credit for what they are doing with and without him, to be completely fair. But yes, the zone wasn't as effective at times because of the lack of talent on the other side. They're missing bodies. Bradley Beal is really their only guy. He dropped 30+, but he was really miserable from three. He shot 10 threes. He only knocked down 3 of them. Normally, he's way hotter than that. When you look at the Sixers, I thought Josh Richardson had a strong game, 21 points. He shot the ball well, 9 of 17. He didn't shoot from behind the arc at a good clip. It was 1 for 5. But all around, I thought he was smooth, and you saw some of his shots falling, and he was doing some good things off the dribble, just creating some sort of offense for him individually. It was nice to see the way he was putting the ball in the basket. We need to get him going once again like he was playing before the injury, before he missed some time. I thought Ben Simmons was strong at times, and he was, 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double. He had 14, 11, and 8, 4 steals, so defensively he was doing his thing. He did have 6 turnovers, and he did shoot 4 for 9 from the free throw line. So those two things at the end, not so strong. Here's the thing with Ben Simmons, and this is just reality. It's because we are frustrated as a fan base. He can have a decent game. He can have a good game against some of these lesser opponents, and we just don't care. We just don't care because it's not about these stats anymore. It's not about the almost triple-doubles. It's not about the triple-doubles. It's not about the 20-point nights against these bad teams like the Washington Wizards. We need to see growth. We need to see development. We need to see that next step added. It's just that simple. We are tired of the same conversation. It's draining us. It's so hard to watch at times. Let's be real. As a fan base, we do not care about decent games, good games, above average games, unless it's against a really good team and we see some sort of addition to his game. So when he has a good game against the Washington Wizards. To me, I'm at the point where I say, whoop-de-damn-do, let's see something new added to that offensive game. I've defended everything about Ben Simmons' game. Look what he can do facilitating. Look what he can do defensively. And it's all true. It's all true stuff. It means a lot. It has so much value when it comes to this basketball team. But his offensive problems and his offensive woes totally destroy this basketball team, and it will continue to destroy this basketball team no matter what he adds defensively, no matter what he can do when it comes to passing. So as much as I defend him and see the point in that stuff, like I understand how important defense is. I understand how important facilitating the floor is. But until I see the addition, until I see something different out of his game, I just don't care how strong of a night he has against a Washington Wizards team. Now, is that fair? I don't know, because it's not his problem that the Wizards are up next on the schedule. So when he plays Detroit and he has another game, it's not his fault that that's the next opponent. But it is his fault that he's just not taking a damn jump shot. So to an extent, I feel bad for ripping him after having a bad game, but I don't. Because he can control at least adding to his game. He's unwilling. He's unwilling. And that's nobody's fault but his. Nobody's fault but his. It's that simple. I don't understand how nobody sees that. It's his fault. It's 100% his fault. He has to change that. I thought the bench was solid. Brett Brown went with Trey Burke. He wanted to give Trey Burke some run. I think he wanted to see what he can do against this zone because the Sixers will see this zone every single game. Every single game. It will not go away. Teams see this. Teams see film. It abuses the Sixers. They struggle completely. So every team will be throwing this out at them. Well, Brett Brown wanted to see what Trey Burke can do, and I thought Trey Burke did a lot. Now, apparently, so did his dad, because his dad's tweeting and putting comments out there saying, play my damn son, my son needs more playing time. I can't believe at a professional level we have parents doing that. It's kind of sad, you know? No matter if it's right or wrong, it's truly sad, but his dad was out there tweeting and commenting on things, saying about, Trey Burke needs to start playing more. Whatever, Trey Burke had to come out and even make a statement saying, my father feels the way that he feels. I'm here to help the team. I like the way that Trey Burke handled it. He handled it like a true professional, as he should. And if I was him, I'd go back and pretty much rip apart my dad. Like, you might think that, but I don't care, and you don't go out publicly like that. I would literally rip into my father if he did that. But anyway, my point is, Trey Burke had a strong game. He had 12 points, 5 rebounds. He was able to deliver in moments and definitely create some spark for this squad when it comes to creating some offense. Matisse Thybulle, defensively, stud. Just a flat-out stud. He's so athletic when he's making a steal, getting a block. He's in the transition. He's slamming it down, bringing down the roof. The energy goes crazy in the Wells Fargo Center. He finished with 9 points, and he was super strong. Yeah, James Ennis, Mike Scott being able to deliver. The bench definitely did a good job at knocking down threes in this one. Furkan had a couple threes. What's up with the shoes, dude? What's up with the shoes? I don't get it. You go with the yellow all the time, which makes no sense. Then you throw in a curveball and you go with these obnoxious shoes. What's the point of this? I just can't comprehend it. Come on, Furky. Come on. He's a hate the face. When you look at Tobias, 16, Joel, 21 and 13. Bertans, though, how about that? He goes from that hot, obnoxious game where he can't miss a shot against the Sixers. He's throwing them left and right in everyone's face the last time the Wizards and the Sixers tipped off. In this one, he gives a good old goose egg in the three-point department. So he struggled big time. Now, that's a name that a lot of fans are screaming at Elton Brand to go out and grab. Someone like that who can come off the bench and create some sort of shooting for this basketball team. And that's a name that I totally want to see. I know you hear the Crawfords, and it's just a name. He is so old. Can he do something? I don't know. I mean, that wouldn't move the needle to me. People are just falling in love with his name because he's been around the league before, because he's had success. But there is a reason why he's sitting out there. He is so old. And it's not the same thing as the Carmelo Anthony effect. This is completely different. Would it help? Maybe just because it's so poor right now, the Sixers shooting is not good whatsoever, but I want someone who can move the needle more than just Crawford. That's just my opinion. At this point, we need someone who can legitimately play, even though I say that as one of the guys goes 0 for 7 that I'm talking about from 3. But all around, we know the guy can shoot the basketball. We know he can play and can be a spark plug off the bench. We've seen him do it throughout his career so far. So that's the way I lean. I would like to see something better than Crawford, but I understand if that's the way we go, but I would like to see someone like Bertans. That Wizards team is banged up, playing with some random bodies out there. Bradley Beal, for him to stay with Washington, D.C., that's impressive, because I would never stay in an organization like that. They are just failing miserably year after year, and I understand that when you lose someone like John Wall and with the weird injury that he had, it's hard to be successful, and it's a tough spot to be in, but to sign a little contract, I'd get out of there. He's too good for that. His jumper is so smooth, though. It's so good looking. It is a beautiful looking jump shot. When you look up a textbook jumper, it's Bradley Beal. When I look at it, my heart melts. My jaw drops. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we need Ben Simmons to have. Like we would ever see Ben Simmons with that type of jump shot. The Sixers dominated on the glass. They had 16 offensive rebounds. They out-rebounded the Wizards 53-38. It wasn't even close. They destroyed them. And I mentioned this when the Sixers lost to the Mavericks. It's the same effect as the Eagles running the ball. When the Eagles run the ball, they win games. When the Sixers eat on the glass, when they work so hard, when they grab rebounds, they win games. It's hard to stop Joel Embiid when you have nobody on your roster, and understandably so. I get it. The competition wasn't very good. But just like I stated with the Ben Simmons comments, this is who was on the schedule. So their only option was to destroy them on the glass, outwork them, battle, and win the game. It doesn't feel as good because they had the big lead and they let it slip, which is something that normally happens with this team. But I was never truly worried. Even though the Wizards pulled close, I wasn't truly worried. The gut feeling for me the entire time was, okay, Sixers, you'll be all right. And once they did cut it to that 4 or 5, Sixers blew them away. They got hot. They went on a run. This is the NBA. Here's the thing. No matter how bad a team is, they're going to go on a run. These are NBA players. They will go on a run eventually. So I understand the Sixers go on a 19-0 run. It looks smooth. It looks great. The Sixers are blowing them out. And then towards the back half of that second quarter, you saw the Wizards creep into the lead a bit, and things got a little sloppy. But, I mean, this is the NBA. Teams will make runs. You will not just crush a team and crucify a team, and then the squad just go away forever. It might happen 1 out of 82 games or so, 2 out of 82 games. It will happen once in a while throughout a season when there's just so many games to play. But for the most part, you are still going up against guys on the other side that want to score, that want to go on runs, that want to compete to the best of their ability, even though they understand they probably won't win. So runs are going to happen. I wasn't worried in this one. I think because of how much frustration was built up, knowing Joel was pissed, knowing the team was really irritated inside that locker room for losing 3 straight, for losing 2 straight home games, maybe that's what made me feel more comfortable. I'm thinking, there's no way. There's no way. Because they are so focused based off of what happened. They'll get it together. They're focused enough. They'll get it together. They'll pull through. And that's absolutely what happened. 28 assists on the night, moving the basketball. There are times where I think they struggle with the zone, and I want to see more. They got to penetrate at times. Sometimes everyone's standing around. They're just passing around the perimeter trying to find that open shot, which sometimes they do. But I want to see someone penetrate. I want to see them get to about the free throw line, find the holes, find the gaps in the zone. They did it at times, but there's also a lot of moments where it's stagnant. The offense isn't moving. They're just passing the ball around the perimeter. Let's go. Let's see some penetration. Let's see some guys getting to certain spots to open up the floor. The thing is, the more they see it, I think the better they will get at it. Now, I feel like that's an obvious thing to say, but it is the truth. The more they see it, they've seen it 3 straight games now. They will start to develop more confidence throughout that offense. They know where to be. They know where to go. They might even have set plays at times because they realize teams are just going to keep throwing it at them. So they're going to have to practice it. The thing is, maybe they do something next. What's next? There were times where they went from man to zone, back to man to zone. Will they switch up the zone at times? Will a better team dial up something that will really confuse and shake the Sixers world? Probably. I mean, I could see Brad Stevens doing something like that. I could see some of these good coaches really trying to throw Brett Brown in a loop and throwing out a really disgusting look that will probably result in a ton of turnovers at some point, whether it's the regular season or they're holding on to it and going to do it when it comes to the playoffs, which is realistically how I see this all playing out, but it is what it is. One thing I want to touch on, free throws. I will not stop destroying this team for the pathetic free throws. 61%. Close to 62, I believe. If you want to get all technical. Or regardless, 61 or 62, it's bad. Now, you always go back to Ben Simmons and say, well, he was 4 of 9, so he wasn't very strong, which pisses me off. But the team struggles. When I look at Ben Simmons, 10 field goal attempts, 9 free throws, I'd be okay if he got 10 free throws a game, absolutely. He's got to start hitting more of them, but if he's getting 10 free throws a game, okay. I want to see more field goal attempts. I know Joel Embiid's out there with Tobias Harris, with Al Horford, with Josh Richardson. There's a lot of bodies to feed. There's a lot of hands that need to touch the ball. Matisse Thybulle gets out there. I can see that part of it. But this team is only going as far as Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Stop me if you heard that before. I mean, we've been talking about it for years. When those two grow, when those two develop, that's when this team will be successful. That's when this squad would be legit. We need Ben Simmons to be more aggressive. His mindset is obviously setting up other guys, leaving his feet, passing the ball out. He needs to be more aggressive. He needs to take more shots. I need more than 10. It's going in the wrong direction. That's what it's doing. It's going in the wrong direction. He had more field goal attempts earlier in his career. Now, is that because the team was awful? He had less talent, so he was putting it more on him? It's possible. I'm just trying to think on why that would be. Now that he has more weapons, now that he has more players around him that can make things happen, he's all about giving them the ball and making the play. Well, you can do that, Ben. You can do that, but you can also be more aggressive at the same time. I won't stop. I won't stop drilling this kid until we get what we need to get. Because we will be stopped. We won't be able to take that next step as a franchise, as an organization, until he does it. Until he does it. It's been 3-4 years of the same conversation. But this year it's different because he has taken the threes. He has hit the threes. So why does it just go away? Before we didn't even see it. Now we've seen it. We all know he's practiced it, right? I mean, as much as we rip him apart, he has practiced the three-pointer. He makes it 1,000,000 times in a row in pregame, 1,000,000 times in a row in practice. He knocked down 2 in a real NBA game. That actually happened. That was real life. So where did it go? Why does it just fade away and go away? How? It's fascinating. I can do this after every game. I mean, it seems like the same conversation comes up after every game. Although, I didn't think he was bad. I thought he was strong. He was good defensively, 4 steals. He provided some spark. He was flirting with the triple-double. I didn't think he was bad, but it doesn't come down to the games against Washington for me anymore. If he had a bad game statistically, but shot 6 mid-range jumpers in this one, I'd be stoked. I'd be so pumped. I'd be doing my dance. Be screaming, fist pumping, shaking, and doing a shimmy. Even if he had 6 points, 7 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Hell, I'll even throw in 6 turnovers with that stat line. But he had some mid-range J's all day long. I'll take that over a 26-point performance against the Wizards, even though that's not what he had. I'm just saying, if he had a 28-point night and he didn't take any jumpers and he beat down on a bad team, I'd take the alternative. I'll take the other one. Because it's time. It's time. It's a sick joke at this point. But once again, I'll always defend it by saying his ceiling is just too high. His ceiling is just way too high. The answer to everyone's problem is not get rid of everyone. That's always the issue with me. When there is a problem in sports with the Sixers, with anything, the answer is get them out of here, screw them. But that's not the way I think. I think we need to fix the issue. Now, it's been a while. The issue is not being fixed. Now, you're seeing the shots, at least this year, but they're going away too much. As I stated, you know that it's there now. Like, you know it's there. Before, it wasn't even there. So it is a step in the right direction. It's now there. But we're not seeing it in-game. So how do we make that next jump? That's the next step. Not get rid of everyone, fire everyone, trade everyone. Let's make it work. That's what sports is all about. If every time someone struggled, if every time someone had a bad year, if every time someone made a mistake, they traded everyone away, sports would be a dumpster fire. That's not how it works. Sorry to break it to you. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. I will see you next time.